And welcome back, my Trails fans, to our next episode of Trails in the Sky. Righty-ho then, so before we go and advance the story by going into the Bracer Guild, everybody in the city should have new dialogue for us. Let's go find out what that is. Some news reporters came to do a story on your dad. My dad's a soldier in the Royal Army, but he's pretty plain and boring compared to Bracers. Gazing out from the top here every day is quite enjoyable. The changing seasons, the lives of those people living here in town. Though they are all minor, I can see these changes with my own eyes. Recently I've seen Mrs. Bloom out and about quite a bit. Oh, I wonder what she's up to. Nobody up here for us to speak to? Should be able to go in the hotel and speak to the concierge. Estelle, Joshua, I heard about your admirable performance at the farm and the mine. A number of guests have been asking about you as well. Keep up the good work. They have? Who are these mysterious guests? I don't see anyone here. Lies! Alrighty, let's see here. Well, there it appears to me that your faces seem a bit older and wiser. I'm glad to see that you have matured in body and mind. Recently, some of the children have come to see me on non-Sunday school days. I'm glad I became a sister. I think the mayor and his family should have some things. Front door is locked. Oh, I guess not. Let's see, we've gone to the hotel, spoke to that kid there. Let's go to the airport, the landing port, whatever. Recently it seems that there are some sky bandits using an airship to pull off robberies in the Bose region. I'm gonna have to be more strict with passenger checks. If a criminal managed to get on board, who knows what might happen. Well, I'll be, Alan, you actually sounded responsible for a second. Well, that's because I'd never forgive myself if I allowed some hotties to get in harm's way. Not to mention, it gives me a reason to check out the chicks more closely too. That's two birds with one stone, baby. I was a fool for admiring you. After the airliners were developed, a lot of people started coming to visit Roland. Before that, it was mostly merchants who came by to buy Septium, lumber and vegetables. I even hear that the number of people travelling the roads on foot has decreased. You don't get tired riding on an airliner, the reason being, they're fast. Have you heard of the high-speed cruiser, Arceli, that's used by the royal family? With a hull covered in elegant lines and painted a pure white, it's certainly fitting for those of royalty. In addition, it boasts the best engine that Orbital technology can offer, and it's said to have the highest performance output in the world. Impressive. Let's see here. Oh. What do we have here? A handsome brace if ever I've seen one. How about taking a nap with little old me? I'll have to take a rain check on that one. Oh, she's a little creepy. Estelle, listen to this. The other day, Mr. Renon's mother dropped by and asked me out of the blue if I wanted to marry her son. I haven't felt so surprised since Scheherazade fell off the table when she was dancing. But I had to turn her down. When I'm ready, I want to be able to choose my own partner. It's time I started thinking about a new menu. I'm going to have all the staff here give me their ideas for the new menu. Maybe I should ask Eliza what she thinks too. Oh, something brewing up between the two of those? All the members of the Bracer Guild can hold their liquor. Scheherazade is like a booze sponge, but even Cassius can down more than a few rounds. But Aina is the most surprising of them all. I heard the same thing from Shera. Aina is supposed to be pretty amazing in the liquor department. That's right, she can drink at the same pace as Scheherazade. On top of that, her face never gets red and she acts totally normal. Haha, I think that's much better than having your ear talked off by Shera. In any case, the Bracer Guild is one to be reckoned with at a bar. Oh, except for that rich fellow, one drink and he's a goner. Oh, hey there, Estelle and Joshua. I saw some crazy quick monsters on the Milch Main Road the other day. Just when I thought they were charging me, they took off running. Seriously, what were those things? The whole monster scare has finally settled down at the mine. Now I can finally eat a relaxing meal. That guy's always eating. We started this restaurant before my husband and I were married. That's why we have such a special fondness for the place. Somehow I find myself deeply moved when I see our daughter Eliza helping around here as well. Looks like that merchant that was here has left. Estelle, Joshua, heard that you two have had your fair share of accomplishments lately. Let's see, you drove the fiends away from the Purzel farm, you rescued the miners at the Malga mine, and this last time you escorted some reporters, right? Well, wow, you certainly know a lot for your age. Yep, I sure do. I wish those reporters would hire me. I think I'm perfect for the job of a reporter. That's probably true. The Liberal News, huh? That's the magazine my dad always reads. The cover always has somebody really famous or popular. The Bracers who helped Pat seem to be active recently. I heard they were a pair of young Bracers, a boy and a girl. That boy is especially well spoken of by the wives' circle as being quite the cutie. Joshua's a hunk to all these desperate housewives? You know, Liberal News is selling like hotcakes lately. Up until just recently, it was a minor magazine circulated in and around the royal city. Though they're complete opposites, my grandson Luke appears to get along well with his neighbour Pat. I wish Luke would pick up a few good things from Pat. The mayor came by to ask about some Septium engraving a bit ago. Although the Esmelis hasn't arrived, I hear it's quite the magnificent crystal. I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like. I've heard that ornaments were based on ancient tools. It's not the people of today who are amazing, it's those people of old. Somehow it's a bit mortifying. I'm so excited. Listen, listen. My daddy's coming home. I hope he'll be home soon. I want us to play together. I received word from my husband today that he'll be finishing up with his current job. I think I'd better cook something extra special. The longer we are apart, the deeper the bond grows between my husband and I. I always go out there. Keep thinking it's another house. My father has stopped complaining about the work my husband does, but it does look like he's holding his tongue all the time. I'm sure he'd feel much better if he just said what he felt. The young kids these days only tend to focus on profit as a way to gain acceptance from others. But back in my day, if we wanted to be accepted, we had to work hard. It's like my daughter says, we'll have to watch these kids with a careful eye. My papa's been asking me some weird things, like who I'd choose, Luke or Pat. Renon's mother came here looking for a bride. Haha, my Uni is way too young for the likes of him. But I can't allow Uni's husband to be any less of a man than myself. It's hard to see fate so heated up about something. It looks like the realization that he's the father of a young daughter is setting in. You seem to be a good match for my daughter Joshua, but I'm going to have to fail you. Huh? The reason being, you're too handsome. It's not that you've done anything wrong, but I can just see you having serious girl troubles someday. Yep, I totally can see that too. Joshua's completely out of touch with reality, he doesn't even notice that kind of stuff. And therein lies another problem. I think it's you who's out of touch with reality. Recently, it seems like whenever I go out on the street, I get a lot of strange looks. It appears that my mum started up the bride hunt again. When I first heard about what was going on, I thought I was going to die of sheer embarrassment. No matter how many times I tell her to knock it off, she just keeps doing it. What am I going to do? Find a bride? Then she'll stop. Aren't you Cassius's daughter, Estelle, was it? Yeah? You look rather healthy and seem like a cheerful young girl at that. So how would you feel about becoming my son's new wife? Excuse me? Me? It seems like the young girls these days don't mind marrying older men, right? Now hold on just a darn minute. So is that a no? Admittedly, my son isn't as handsome as your boyfriend over there with the black hair. You boy, make sure to make Estelle happy. Huh? This job lady is totally mistaken. Haha, would probably best just play along before things get more complicated. Awkward. Hey there, I've been hearing great things about you kids. I hear that you've been knocking out jobs one after another. You've made some successful strides from your part-time job working here for me. Well, how are you, Estelle and Joshua? The two of you have really grown up, haven't you? Although I'd like you to try and act a bit more ladylike, Estelle. I'll try to pay more attention to that. How rude. Was that everybody? Did I speak to all of the kids? Oh, you know what? I can quickly go over to Purzel Farm and see what they have to say. So I will be back in a moment. And here we are, Purzel Farm. Joshua? I'm going to start helping around on the farm. Really? That's great. You work hard, okay? Joshua pats Cher softly on the head. I will. I promise to work hard. Oh my, Estelle and Joshua, how have the both of you been? Come and visit us again when you've got time. The kids would love to see you. Oh, hello, you two. I heard some talk about the both of you while I was in town. It looks like you've already made a name for yourselves as bracers. And now I get to boast to others about how you protected my fields. Let's see, I think we got another one or two kids to speak to. Is there a kid around here? Hi, how are you two doing? I'd sure like to get all of our friends from Sunday school together again. It's been a while, so I really want to see Eliza too. Let's double check. Is anybody in here? Is it just that kid out here? Okay. Joshua and Estelle. Hey guys, aren't you two bracers who defend justice? That's so awesome. I wonder if I can be one too. Well, I think that's everyone spoken to, so I will see you back in Rolent. And we're back in Rolent, and into the Bracer Guild we go. Just quickly nip upstairs, see if there's anyone to talk to. Nope. Let's go and speak to Shera. Oh, Estelle and Joshua. Shera, what are you doing here? This is a rare occasion. You're usually out and about. I just finished the jobs I took over for your father, and I was reporting to the guild. So you finished your load too, huh? Somehow or other, I guess. I heard from Aina that you guys aren't going too bad yourselves. I guess everything I went through to train the two of you amounted to something. We're grateful too. Well, I guess we'll report in as well then. Go ahead, let's hear what you've got. See, so we get our payment, 2,000, and 4 BP. And an advancement. Sweet. Good work, you two. How about you, Sherazade? Don't you think you've done a fine job? For a bunch of newbies, you did an average job. But you shouldn't be satisfied with that level of work. Especially you, Estelle. You're always the first to get on that high horse of yours. Okay, I get it already. Great work, all of you. I'm surprised that we were able to fill the work gap left by Cassius so quickly. I wonder if we'll be able to relax for a bit now. I don't know. I can imagine that the downtime might be a bit of a drag. Well, that won't be a problem since there are plenty of other small jobs like patrolling the roads and exterminating monsters. It's been a while since I've been able to take a break. Alright, it's time for my reward. I'm going to drink until I can't drink anymore tonight. Estelle, Joshua, you two join me as well. Oh no. We have to watch you get plastered and make a fool of yourself? Oh, so what you're saying is that you're turning down my invitation? You've got a lot of nerve to do something like that to your mentor. What am I supposed to say? Your drinking habits are intolerable. You cause a ruckus, dance like a maniac, and try to strip in public. Agreed, it's pretty embarrassing. Scheherazade, just where do you think you're going to take these underage kids? Come on, the alcohol is what makes things entertaining. But if you're so against coming along with me, then I don't need you, Estelle. Really? Yep. Instead, I'll just have Joshua make up for your absence. Why me? Shara? Now hold on a minute. Joshua, you look like you'll make a fine companion. Whether we're talking booze or something else behind closed doors, I'll help break you in. But break me in? Alright, you big pervert. Joshua, why are you drooling like that? It's not what you think. We've got a major problem. Huh? Mayor Klaus? Estelle, Joshua, and Scheherazade, am I glad to see you. Saved by the bell. What's wrong, sir, and why are you in such a hurry? This is terrible. My home, disaster, it's gone. What? Alright, calm down, Mayor Klaus. Take a deep breath and let it out. Apparently it seems as though my home was robbed while I was out. What? That's not being calm at all, Estelle. I had something to speak with Father Divine about, so I was over at the chapel, and when I came home it was rather odd for no one to greet me by the door, so I looked around, and the rooms were in a state of great disarray. Wait, what about your wife and Lita? Don't worry, they're both fine. I found them locked up in the attic room. That's a relief to hear. It's lucky that no harm came to anyone. It won't get us anywhere just sitting around here, so could you take us to the crime scene, Mayor Klaus? Absolutely, I appreciate your cooperation. Wait for me, I'm going too. Good idea, we may be able to be of some help. Well, if you insist. Aina, we'll be at the mayor's place investigating the incident. If you have anything come up, just toss it on Ridge's shoulders. I'm sure he's just relaxing at the bar anyway. Yes, I'll do that, and everyone be careful. Whoa, this place is a mess. Wow, this place is an absolute mess. The crooks really tore through here. Look at the safe. The Septium, which was supposed to be given to Her Majesty the Queen, has been stolen. I'm really sorry, especially after having you go all to the trouble to bring it here. It's not you who should be apologising, it's the crooks who are in the wrong. By the way, how are the other rooms in the house? The other rooms for the most part appear to have been left untouched. They're about as messy as the attic room in which my wife and Lita were locked up in. Estelle, Joshua, there's something I want you to do. Which is? I'll speak with the mayor about the incident. I want you two to check out the inside of the house. You mean like an on-site investigation? Are you sure we're up to the task? Since we're all here, splitting up would be the best way to cover the most ground, no? Alright, we'll see what we can do. Proceed carefully and deliberately. Alright, Mayor Klaus, how about we talk in the parlour? Sure, now where to begin? An on-site investigation, huh? I'm starting to get butterflies in my stomach. How about we start from this room? And let's not forget to ask for witness statements from the other residents. Sounds like a plan. This is just a clutter box, right? It's empty as well. The box lock looks like it was burned off. The criminals may have used an orbal gun. Okay, no extra dialogue. It's just like the mayor to have a ton of difficult books like this. It looks like he's got some valuable antique books here as well. The criminals either had no idea about the value of the books, or... It's just like the mayor to have a ton of... Oh, okay, exactly the same thing as before. This place is all torn apart. Lita would probably faint if she saw this. It looks like all the books on the shelf have been scattered about the room. Seems kind of senseless to have done all this. This pot's been tipped over, but there's nothing inside. It looks like it only tipped over after being hit by something with force. There are several documents inside the drawer. They don't appear to have been disturbed. They seem to be documents regarding Rolent city government. The fact that these are as they are just suggests that there was no political aim involved. The gift that we delivered to the mayor for the Queen is... Those crooks are not going to get away with this. Doesn't look like they jimmied the door either. They must have decrypted the combination and opened it, or... Could they really have cracked the combination? It's not impossible, but I imagine that it'd be difficult for anyone besides a skilled pro. My best guess is that they figured out the combination using a much simpler means. What do you mean by simpler means? Well, let's see. They could have, for example, dusted the buttons with a special powder. A powder like that would have absorptive properties and due to its finesse, would be invisible to the naked eye. However, if a blue light were placed over it, it would glow. Alright, and... Now let's imagine for a minute that the mayor entered the combination with the powder present. The powder on the buttons would stick to his fingers and come off. This would be the one way to know which buttons were pressed. Now wait a minute, wouldn't they still not know the order in which the buttons were pressed? That's not exactly the case. As the powder collected on the fingers increased, the amount taken from the buttons would decrease. In other words, the crooks could press the buttons in order starting from the least luminescent. It might be a little more difficult if there were duplicate numbers, but the crooks should be able to make a pretty good guess as to what they are. That makes sense. Joshua, are you a genius or something? That's just basic knowledge. Anyway, let's check out the buttons. Just as I thought, powder was used. Now there's no doubt in my mind that this safe was opened using the same method I just explained. Oh right. Now the big question is, who dusted the buttons with that powder? We know it would have to at least be someone who visited the residence. Right now, figuring out who that is, that's going to be the tricky part. Look, there are some marks on this railing. You're right, and they're fresh too. Looks like something metal dug into the wood. I had such a scare. I was cleaning up the attic when suddenly a bunch of masked men came barging in. Masked men, huh? That means this wasn't a one-man job. How many people were in the group? I'd probably guess about 3 or 4. Oh, that reminds me, one of them was short. It might have even been a girl. Some very useful information. Huh? What's this? Don't you think it's a bit strange for a leaf to be in a place like this? On top of that, it's not a type that grows around here. You're sharp, Estelle. This is the place where the residents were locked up. It was probably dropped by one of the criminals as they were locking everybody up. So it's a key piece of material evidence, right? Are you alright, ma'am? Yes, I'm fine. The intruders weren't violent towards us. Is there anything that you noticed in particular about the intruders? They were wearing masks, so I wouldn't be able to tell you about any specific features. That reminds me, I'm certain the front door was locked. I locked the door just to be safe since my husband had gone to the chapel, and there were just the 2 of us here. I wonder how in the world they got in. They said that the door was locked at the time of the burglary, right? But it doesn't look like the lock's been broken either, which means they got in another way. Alrighty, I believe that's all of the evidence you need to collect to get a perfect BP increase. So let's go ahead and turn in our evidence. I had the mayor run me through all the details. How about you two, did you find anything? Yep, we found lots of new evidence. Alright then, let's check the details one by one and see what you've come up with. First off, what were the criminals after? The Septium in the safe. How many of them were there? There was a group of 3 or 4. Where did they get into the house from? From the terrace on the 2nd floor. Point blank, what is the portrait of those thought to have committed the crime? A traveller who visited recently. Wow, you did a good job investigating. It looks like we'll be able to specify who the criminals are with this information. Mayor Klaus, over the past 2 or 3 days, have you had any new faces in your study? When you put it that way, I guess there's been a number of people. That reporter from the magazine company was one. Oh, so those 2 came to visit you too, huh? But at the time of the crime, they were with us at the Esmelis Tower. I think we can cross them off the list of suspects. I see. So Mayor Klaus, were there any others? Other than that, there was only Josette. Haha, well let's not kid ourselves here. Haha, yeah, I think it'd be a bit of a stretch for her to be our thief. After all, she's a student at the Royal Academy. Criminals aren't always dressed so that they can be easily spotted. As for a school uniform, if someone put their mind to it, they could create a replica. But I'm telling you, she was a really nice girl. She was modest and courteous. Right, Joshua? I'm sorry to say this, but I completely disagree. Huh? During that time when the mayor put the Septium into the safe, that girl's eyes lit up like a hunter's eyeing her prey. Of course, since I had no conclusive evidence, I couldn't call her out on it. But at least to me, she didn't look like an ordinary student. You must be joking. Unbelievable. At any rate, it looks like we're going to have to ask this girl a few questions. You wouldn't happen to know where she is, would you? If I remember right, she should be staying at the hotel. But she said something about taking off from Rolent sometime today. Well, it looks like we're going to have to hurry then. Estelle, Joshua, let's try the hotel first. Right. Understood. I knew she was suspicious from the start. Oh. Where am I going? Here we go. Right. I think... Does everyone have new dialogue again? What happened at Mayor Klaus's place? Yes, they do. Mayor Klaus came rushing by here in a hurry. I wonder what happened. So before we go to the hotel, let's go ahead and see what everybody else has to say. And they're taking a nap. He's not got anything new to say. What about you? Ah, Estelle and Joshua, welcome. Hi, Eliza. Ah, Sherazade, you're here too. Are you here for a drink today? Please try not to tease Mr. Faulkner today. I wasn't teasing him at all, if that's what he thought. I was just cuddling him. Hello, Faulkner. Sherazade. Good day to you. Why so tense? You needn't worry, I'm on duty right now. Praise the goddess. We appreciate your hard work. When I'm done today, how about I stop by and we have a drink together? I'll be looking forward to seeing you later. Haha, I'll be here, waiting. Nothing inspires fear like Shera's drunken company. Except maybe your cooking. Wow. Hey there, Sherazade, are you back for another drink? I've got some new liquor in that I think you might like. I hope you'll come and have a taste. Well, I'll be happy to hear that. I'll have to stop by when I finish up with some of this work. Well, hi there, Shera. Please make yourself at home. Ah, Estelle and Joshua and... Wow, it's Shera too. Hi, Claire. All 3 braces spoken of in town together at once. Does this mean that something happened? Unfortunately so. The Braces who helped Pat seem to be active recently. I heard there were a pair of young Braces, a boy and a girl. Boys, oh yeah. Already spoken to her about that. Yeah, that's not new. Not new. The mayor came by to ask about some Septium engraving earlier, but the key piece of Asmelis hasn't arrived. Oh, that's not new. I accepted the job from the mayor, but he hasn't shown up even though he promised to come by. It's not like him since he's always been a stickler about punctuality. No, not new. Not new. That time I went out by accident, not on purpose. Not new. Ugh, it's kind of awkward. Some people have new dialogue while others don't. And Joshua, you're much too old for uni, you know that? That's another fail right there. Oh, I'm glad he admitted that. Because she's like probably 8, while Joshua I think is 16. Hi there, what brings all three of you together like this? We have a job that needs taking care of. Working hard, aren't you? Oh, that reminds me, the accessory you ordered came in, Sherazade. It had to come all the way from the Republic, so it took some time to get it in stock. Oh really? I certainly appreciate you going through the trouble for me. Right now I'm in the middle of something though, so I'll have to stop by again later and pick it up. Sure thing, I'll be here when you get done with whatever it is you've got on your plate. Oh my, you with the silver hair, are you a foreigner? Are you talking to me? Yeah, sure, I guess I'm something like that. You're definitely a suitable age, but for a bride, you're a bit too exotic. Huh? A bride? I definitely can't imagine Shera being anyone's bride. Yeah, they'd have to be able to keep up with her drinking at the very least. Yeah, and let's face it, who can do that? Hey you two, what are you whispering about? Oh, Estelle and Joshua, is that a Sherazade I see with you too? Yep, our work overlapped a bit. I see. I had a new whip scheduled to come in, but unfortunately it won't get here till much later. Come to think of it, Shera, you used a sword for training, so why take a whip for the job? Well, if you must know, it was an accessible weapon for me at a young age, so I'm familiar with it. A whip? Do I even want to know? Oh my, are you with them today too, Shera? Yes, that's right. It turns out that I'm going to be working with the two of them this time. I'm happy to see that you can work alongside each other like this. But Shera, you shouldn't teach Estelle or Joshua any bad things, okay? That's awfully rude. You don't need to make me out to be some sort of evil woman like that. Well, usually you're a good girl, but you've got some bad habits if you know what I mean. Understand? If you dare teach them anything bad, I'll just cry. Alright, I get what you're saying. Last place to go would be the church, I believe. Well, there appears to me that your faces seem a bit... No, it's not new. And not new. Alrighty, off to the hotel we go. Estelle, Joshua, and even Sherazade. Is something the matter? Do you remember a girl named Gisette? She's a student from the Royal Academy who should be staying here. Of course I remember her, but she checked out just a moment ago. Shoot, we're a minute too late. Let's hurry to the landing port, we might be able to catch her there. She really didn't seem like a bad girl. Oh yeah, I didn't speak to people at the landing port. But please excuse the delay. The airliner should be arriving any time now, so please be patient. Yo, Alan, it's us, if you haven't noticed. Oh, it's you guys. Oh, and Sherazade too. Thank you, Adios, for this feast of the eyes. So, what's up? You didn't by chance happen to see a girl in a school uniform around here, did you? A girl in a school uniform. A school uniform from where? From the Janus Royal Academy. Oh, baby, those uniforms are so hot. The contrast of those neatly pleated white skirts and navy blue socks. Oh yes, I can see them now. I totally forgot what the boys' uniforms look like though. This is one obsession I just don't get. Thus defineth man's eternal struggle. Back on topic here, so you didn't see a girl in a Royal Academy uniform. Nope, not this month, and believe me, I watch for those. I check all the passengers boarding and disembarking, so I can tell you at least that she hasn't come here. Which means that she came to Roland along the roads without using an airliner. This complicates things. Our search field suddenly got much bigger. Come to think of it, there must be others, so they've got to be hiding somewhere. Wait, that reminds me. What does Estelle? Estelle pulled out the survey sleeve found in the attic. I almost forgot that we found this. Could this be some sort of a clue? Oh right, we did find that. Shera, do you know of any places nearby where cervase trees grow? Cervase trees, huh? I'm pretty certain they grow in Mistwald, south of Rolent. Mistwald, that's the forest in the opposite direction from home as Rolent, right? Seems like it's worth looking into. That settles it. Let's hit up the highway through Rolent's south gate. You're really excited, aren't you? Well, whatever it is, good luck. The Janus Royal Academy, huh? Those uniforms sure are hot. The contrast of those neatly pleated white skirts and navy blue socks. Oh yes, I can see them now. What a perv. Just what is going on? With the airliner this late, I can't help but think that something happened. The airliner's late. I wonder what's going on. The airliner, which should be coming from Bose, still hasn't arrived. We're prepared to receive the incoming ship, but... Wait up, you're running like a crazed lunatic. Who can just walk at a time like this? Maybe I should think about cutting back on those blasted cigarettes. What are the two of you up to? You kids again, huh? Actually, we've got to get to Bose ASAP. But the airliner's not even here yet. I know, that's why we're heading there on foot. It'll take some time, but it's not a distance that we can't cover by ourselves. Well, don't wear yourselves out too badly. By the way, are you after a scoop or something? Yeah, and the mother of all scoops too. No time to talk, we've got to make it there today. I wonder if Niall's going to be alright. See you later, Estelle. Joshua. Well, aren't they a lively pair? Friends of yours? Those were the reporters from one of the jobs Dad asked us to take over. I wonder what's going on. Alrighty. Well, so before we continue on with our quest, I think we shall call that here for tonight, folks. So thanks for joining in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification icon. And I will see you on the next one, hopefully when I can actually speak properly. Bye bye for now.